Everyone, and welcome to Hope Further. As you know, my name is the Chinwe Ebere, and today I have a very special guest. I call him D, so we're gonna hear from him. But basically, we're gonna be looking at purpose, not from the cliche that you've always heard or from the things you've read, from a practical point of view, what it is, how Dee discovered it, how he has lived it, and the ups and downs of purpose. So, Dee, nice to meet you. Do you mind introducing yourself, please?
Yeah, thank you very much. So my name is Dmeji, and of course, people call me D. Quite a number of people call me D. Some people who doesn't really know my name or don't know how to call the name here in the UK call me Dimitri, which so I'm very,
That's
I'm
okay.
very open to hearing all of those phonetism coming into play. Yeah. So yes, my name is Dmeji.
Yeah. So, so,
I
so,
don't
so
know which direction you want me to go. So, but yeah, I'm open to you
yeah,
asking me questions about how much of myself you want me to talk about.
yeah. That's okay. So, I think I'll just delve in. I mean, over time, I've been talking about purpose. All
That's
right,
right.
what it is, what it isn't,
Cool.
and especially how to discover it, because I find out that a lot of people talk about purpose, but rarely do we teach people how to discover it. We just expect that people will stumble on it magically. All right. So I'm trying to do something a little bit different, helping them to understand what it is, how to discover it, especially how you discovered it. So first and foremost, when you hear the word purpose, what comes to mind?
Okay. So it's just the essence of life. Why are we here? Why am I wouldn't say relevant as so to speak, but I would say why am I kind of important to people around me, to the society, to the world, the sphere, the place where I work and all of that. So because it's actually very much encompassing. So it's we can break it in bits and pieces as to, focusing on career, focusing on say life, business, whatever it is. So but all put together, the essence of life is purpose. Yeah.
So thank you for that. I usually hear this thing. People say that the only thing they come to this world to do is to, eat, work, procreate, and die. What do you think about that statement?
It's part of purpose, isn't it? At least they
Tell
are
me about it.
procreatory, They, there is a
Okay.
contribution because purpose comes to contributing. So and they are contributing to the number of people on the surface of the earth. But is that hard to life? Do you understand?
Mm,
Yeah, and
mm.
that is why something, discussions like these are very important because that's not hard to life. In recent time I've just talked about the adults, should I say adulthood lifestyle. You wake up in the morning, you try and get yourself ready, you go to work, eat all along the day, you come back late in the evening, you want to eat again, have time with the family, friends, and all of that. You go to bed and you keep the loop.
Mm.
No, it doesn't make it. You can't live your life like that and live a very purposeful life. Yeah. So it's beyond that. It's just let me say a little beyond that. Yeah, a little beyond that.
One of the things I have admired about you, Dimeji, is that I've known you since 2015 or 2014, thereabout, and I've really watched your trajectory. Yeah, I've really watched the way you've impacted so much life. Even sometimes you're very humble about it, right? And one thing I keep saying is that purpose is that part of you that impact on other people's life, and you've said it clearly because it's not just about the loop. You can get distracted just going in circles and thinking you're living a life, like a
That's
purposeful
right.
life.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, it is way beyond that. So, at what point did you stumble on purpose? Did you realize that purpose is no longer a theory, but it became very personal for you?
Okay. So I'm gonna take you way, way back. Yeah. At that time, I don't really understand this part of purpose, but I think I just find myself doing some things in that direction. Yeah. Um, I discovered that I love engaging people, right?
Mm,
While we're growing up in my family, we were three boys, children, three boys. And if a visitor coming to my house, into our house, I will be the one to really engage such an individual. I asked a lot of questions, both the wise ones, the foolish ones, and or at least on the surface level, I make quite a number of friends. Yeah. Um, and over the time, I discovered that I just love hearing people, helping people, providing solutions here and there. And again, while we're growing up, as they're asking you, what do you want to become in the future? Some things start playing up, right?
Mm.
Okay, I said, I want to be an engineer. And why do I want to be an engineer? I want to be able to provide solutions to people's issue. Okay, what type of engineering? I don't know. But as we keep growing, we keep defining it, right? We keep having a structure to it. So I'm going to say that it starts from way back. And I think on this note as well, the parents have very critical parts to play. Yeah. I remember myself and my wife discussing quite a number of times, and we're saying for our children, this is what we're going to do, that's what we're going to do, because there were ways that our parents raised us that we discovered that limits what we can do.
Mm.
Yeah, limits what we can do. Like, we should be doing some amazing things at the moment. Of course, we're not doing bad, but like doing some amazing things at the moment. But kind of they killed it back then, right? So I won't blame them, because they also think they are nudging us in some direction of
Of course.
purpose as well, right? So I would say it starts way back from then. But even as we grow up and then life presents itself to us, we start seeing, you know, clearer perspective to it, right? And just like you mentioned, when we met, we started having a form to it. But at that point, I just know that I love engaging the young minds,
Mm.
right? I just know that I love helping young people define trajectories to life. I remember just 2 years before we met, where I was that time, I gathered young people, you know, teenagers, people in JSS classes, and then I was asking them what they want to be in the future. And then at that time, we were really giving a definition to why they want to be, who they want to be, why they should focus on what they think is going to help them become who they want to be. Let me shock you. Just last year, somebody reached out to me on, I can't remember, maybe it's Instagram or Facebook. And this guy was one of those guys those
Interesting.
years. I'm telling you. And he was so immediately I saw the name, I remembered him. And he was telling me that maybe I might not remember him. He told me everything, while I was finishing school that time, how I used to gather them together, speak to them and all of that. And at that time when he was reaching out to me, he was currently doing his youth service, right? And he mentioned quite a lot of impact they gained from it. Of course, I knew I was doing something, but I didn't also know it's going to transcend into that. Yeah, that's one. Then again, as we keep going in life, as we keep growing, and we also keep having definition for life, we see some things that really interest us, some things that excite
Mm.
us. Yeah, and I want to really, really mention that, because that's one of the things that you can easily say that is my purpose for life. What is it that you are very happy doing, even when you are down, even when you are weak, even when you have a very tight schedule, right? One of it is what you are asking me to do at the moment. No matter how busy I can be, once it comes to helping life, touching life, giving structure to it, I am happy to do. Okay, I give you a very clear understanding, and I know you will understand this with me. Years back, when we were a bit younger before we met, we used to think all to life when it comes to impacting. Of course, it's still part of it, but we used to think it's all about pulpit ministry.
Mm.
While we met, I had clearer definitions and perspective to it. That time we are not doing a full-time ministry, we are not doing ministry,
Mm.
right? As we keep growing, we keep having understanding, insight, foresight, and like my current boss will always say something, living the dreams. And then whenever he asks me, how did he even, how he used to ask? Okay, he will say living the dreams, like in the form of a question. I'll say, yes, living the dreams, building another one for the future. And
Mm.
while we were living that dream and building another one for the future, we come to realize that we have loads, spheres of impact that we can make. Take for instance where you are currently, where I am currently, and that's one of the things that gives me joy with where I work. I have loads of young people around me. that I can just nudge in the right direction. I can just tell them, have you thought about this? Do you think if you do this, we do that? Let's look at even people, migrants coming into this country. Quite a number of them I'm engaging with them as to why don't you think about this? As far as career is concerned, as far as business is concerned, as far as settlement in the country is concerned, that gives me joy. For me, that's my purpose.
Okay. You've said quite, thank you so much. You've said quite a lot of interesting things. Thank you so much. You said childhood, you said interest, you said passion. So the whole idea is to create a pattern where each
Yeah,
of them connects. That's quite
connect.
brilliant. And
Yeah.
you said something that I want to go into you, but we're going to have time for that because
Okay.
our parents,
Mm.
right? They raised us the best way they know how to,
Yeah.
right? But
Yeah.
sometimes they stifle our ability to create or to actually find purpose, right? We have childhood paradigms and all that. We're going to get back to that. But before then, do you think that people refuse to walk in purpose because they lack clarity or they lack courage?
Both, actually.
Tell me.
Yeah. If you don't have clarity as to why you're doing what you're doing, you won't do it well. So, and he who knows why is a master of he who knows how, actually, right? And at the same time, if you don't have the understanding of what you are doing, so ability to be able to do it impactfully, it will be lacking. Yeah. My mentor of blessed memory will always say, when the purpose of a thing is not known, this is really much
Mm-hmm.
inevitable. So you see, like I said, everywhere we are, we can actually live a very purposeful life. Everywhere. It can't be in your field as, let's say, okay, take for instance, as a lecturer, yeah, or maybe as a medical doctor. You can't be doing that job and because you're gonna go a little extra mile, and that's where the purpose now comes in.
Mm.
Of course, I'm doing it. That's where I make my money from. Yeah. But going a little bit extra, going a little, I'm not saying far above and beyond. I'm just saying a little. That little is what gives the distinction. Yeah.
Mm.
And when people fail to understand that, we miss the whole essence. Actually, we miss the whole essence. So for me, I'm going to say that having a structure to what I do, having an understanding of why I do what I do, because other people is going to question why I'm doing what I'm doing.
Mm-hmm.
They will say, "Oh, your own is too much. You over sabi.
Yeah,
This,
yeah,
that, that."
yes.
Do you get? That guy is just too passionate about. And those are the little things that gives. That shapes the whole thing. That brings flesh to the skeleton. Yeah. So I think for us, it's just to really have that clarity. It's just to have that clarity. It's to have that understanding, and focus on it. Give it your very best, and then boom! Before you know it, believe me, because that's another thing again. When we talk about purpose, most time people think once you start solving that problem, money must come your way.
I
It
was going
doesn't
to
work
come to
like
that
that.
question. I was going to come to that question. Thank you so much. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Okay,
Because
so
I've had people say things like, I mean, once I stumble on purpose, I'm going to make so much money. Yeah, but yeah, I need you to address that particular issue.
actually, will you make money? Yes, that one is sure. The question there is when you're going to make money.
Mm.
Yeah.
So that means the
So
first point of call should not be to make money, but to impact
no,
lives.
no. See, and that's one of the, even as an entrepreneur, if you go into a business with the sole aim of making profits,
You are not going to make it.
you're gonna run to the ground because you are competing with the giants in the industry.
Mm.
So it's not really about the traction that you're going to be getting. Is how good are you at the service you are rendering.
The
Do
value
you understand?
you
Do you
offer,
understand?
the impact. So
I'm
people pay
telling
for
you,
value,
it's
pay
value.
for impact, and
I'm telling you.
not just because they like you.
No, no, people don't like you. Yeah, people don't. They don't. You might, well, in a way, some people will like you,
Of
and
course,
then do you get?
I
Some
understand
people
that.
will like
But
you, and then they
that's a
will
very
come say,
critical
"Oh,
point.
yes, yes," because if you don't come with that value, with that proposition, people are going to be like, okay, so what is it that you can do that A is not
Hmm,
doing?
that's quite
I,
interesting.
Sincerely, there is no new product anywhere.
We're only recycling things and adding some little innovation and
Innovation, that's the only thing we are bringing into play. Innovation. There is nothing new. No, there is no system we want to create that has never existed.
hmm,
So now the innovation you are bringing to play, how are you now presenting it? That brings the attraction. And when that attraction comes, money comes your way. But
hmm,
like I said, will you make money? Yes. The when you're going to make money is
is
the
what we
big
have
deal.
to. Thank you so much. Thank you so
Yeah,
much for that
yeah.
insight, right?
I'm telling you, because it can cost some people within months, it can cost some people years before they start making that money. So
Hmm.
one thing that will now help them on the long run, which I am also trying actually, I don't have it. I remember at the beginning of the year, myself and my wife, we used to do evaluations, set goals and all of that. One thing she intentionally mentioned to me is that you need to be consistent. I think consistency is one of the things I'm fighting with. So now that consistency in what you are good at doing, that will attract people to you, and then that brings the money your way. Because they'll be like, oh, that guy, oh yeah, we saw his trajectory. We can see, he's really passionate about what he's doing. It's not just because, okay, take for instance, if I want to do, let's say this podcast you're doing now, let's say you're doing it for the money. If you do 3, 4, 7, 10 sections and nothing is coming, you can give up.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah,
Especially when
because
you're out there just to make the money, not necessarily to impact anybody's life. Hmm.
exactly. But a time will come when people will see the values you offer. You have subscribers, yeah, you have followership, and then you can also have people, invite you to come do tech this, speak at this event, speak at that place,
Absolutely.
and then that limelight comes, and then people can say, oh, let's start paying for what you offer,
You,
right?
you, you said something. Thank you so much. You said something very insightful, right?
Yeah,
And I love this because you just made us understand that we are humans. Sometimes
yeah,
people think that the moment you start, you should just go all the way big. There are going to be times where you'll be tired.
definitely,
Because you're living a life of purpose does not mean you're not human, does not mean you're supernatural. You're going to be tired. You're going to struggle with consistency. You would have to learn how to create a habit around that. Like you said about your wife, you also need to have an accountability system that helps you achieve. I don't think we can exhaust everything that there is. We can't pick your brain entirely in this session. So
yeah,
if you're happy, I would like us to perhaps progressively have
yeah.
more conversation around this, because I feel like you have so much that we can, like my viewers and anyone who's going to come in contact with this podcast can learn from, right?
I am
But
100% happy about that. Yeah.
that I'm glad
It's one of my purpose.
to impact lives. I said I've noticed that you're very focused on young people, and
Yeah.
that's really great. But I'm going to ask two questions.
Okay.
Number one, aside the childhood things, our parents, what other thing do you think buries purpose more?
Hmm. Very deep question. Quite the number. And I will come from this perspective. So, um, let me share this quick story. My wife's niece she came into the UK, so she was with us for good 2 years. She just moved out. And so I can remember, and I was telling my wife that I saw a post she made on TikTok actually. Interestingly, she made that post. She didn't tag any of us. She just said that for her time in the UK and all that she has been able to do, that all thanks to my aunt and the husband. Right. I saw it and I was one that was calling my wife's attention to that post. And then while we were talking about the whole thing, and we're looking at vis-a-vis our mates that they came together to do masters, she has gone way, way ahead.
Mm.
I won't be sharing some few things because this is
Yeah,
gonna be
definitely,
going
because
live.
it's going to go live. Yeah.
Yeah. And okay, yeah, I think what brought that discussion was that she said that her friends used to say that if they ask her something, she'll say when she gets home, she's gonna ask her aunt and the husband. And they were like, come, you don't even know anything, you're always asking. And do you know what that has done for her? She has a leverage already.
Mm.
Yeah. So the trajectory is she's launching, the launching pad is high already. Yeah. So one of the
Hmm.
things, apart from our childhood, that really kills purpose is we hustling for bread.
Hmm. The environment, the mindset.
The mindset. Do you get when you are in an enabling environment, you're gonna thrive. I remember speaking to one of my friend 5 years ago. No, 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 not to 5 years now, but yeah, almost about 5 years, around July, August 2021, when they were to come into the UK. I said something to him. I said, one, UK is leveler. Two is that when you get into the airport, as you're coming down from Heathrow Airport, I said there is a breeze that is going to blow you. It's not for the cold. The breeze is going to format your brain and opens
Hmm.
your eyes to a world of limitless opportunity.
Possibilities. Hmm.
Because where we're coming from, you have dreams, you have passion, you have things you want to do, but the environment is not really, really enabling.
Hmm.
Yeah, yeah.
But we've seen
Okay,
situations where environments are enabling, but people are not doing anything. Do you think they're just being lazy or maybe too relaxed or comfort zone?
that one day. And I'll tell you two things on that real quick. One, mentorship.
Hmm.
Two, and when I say mentorship, it's not necessarily you go have a mentor, a coach, or something. People ahead of you. If you see what people ahead of you are doing, that can nudge you in the right direction to say, okay,
Hmm.
this person did it this way, they're not getting it right. And somebody even said something, and I've always, lived that with me. Yeah, he said that experience is the best teacher, provided it's not your own. He now said something. He
Hmm.
said, even if it is your own experience, it makes you two things. It makes you a mentor.
Hmm.
Yeah, because easily you can tell people, I passed through that route. It's not really working for me. So, but I did this. So you don't go that route. Go this way, and then that gives them a shortcut. That gives them a quick launch pad. So you see, one of the things again, like I said, that limit us is people that have gone ahead of us. What would now take for instance? I won't blame our parents. You know why? When they were growing up, let's look at their forefathers or their.
Hmm.
Let's look at our grandfathers. I'm going to use myself as an example. My dad's dad is not learned. My dad went to school. And when he was in school, because he also wants to, be somebody in life and all of that, the quickest job that was available for them at that time was to be a teacher. Yeah. My mom, her dad was head principal, how do they call it? Like head of um
I don't know, head of school
was the head of school, something like that,
or
and
proprietor,
no, it was
not the
also a
proprietor.
government school. So I think,
Ah,
yeah, he became the headmaster, and then they promoted him from headmaster to go to that local
oh,
government kind of thing.
okay,
That he now becomes the head of those
okay.
yeah, something like that. That was what we were told actually, yeah, because I think at the time when we knew him, he has retired. Yeah, he has retired. And so when my mom, most of his children were also teachers.
Ah,
When we were growing up, our parents see that teaching job it's fine, it's good, but it's not very lucrative. So what are the jobs that were lucrative at that time? Either you are an engineer, you're a
or a
doctor, you're
doctor.
a lawyer.
You
One thing
understand
again,
that?
I'm telling you, one thing I'm very happy for this generation, which in a way there is also a doom looming,
Hmm.
is the flexibility that comes with the jobs and the job titles.
Hmm.
You know, like years back, let's say 15 years ago, there is nothing like a project manager, nothing like a business analyst. But
Or
believe me,
data scientist.
we were doing all of those things.
Yes, without
It's just
putting a
that they
name
are not
tag
a
to it.
niche. They are not a niche. There is nothing like all of those things were there, but nobody is really, really carving it out as a niche. Now, I'm excited for this generation because yeah, they have all of those things. Quite a number of people are not even interested in all of those format titles.
Yes,
Yeah, content creation. They will say I'm a curator.
I'm a
Um,
vlogger, just different things.
digital marketer. All of those things put together. But again, as we look at all of those, I think this might not really capture. So I won't go into that. There is a danger with it,
Yes,
and
that's why I
I
said
am
we will
looking
still
at
have time to have more conversations because I'm
Yeah.
interested in picking.
I'm looking at danger that's going to come in the next few years
Mm.
after now. Yeah, looking at those set of people, what they do, because most of them they don't really have the depth. So, and that's where
Mm.
the problem is going to come. So, I'm looking at their children. So, what were the skills they're going to transfer to those guys?
Hmm.
So, yeah, all of those. But now, so our parents, what they have or what they see, people around them that were really making it, either accountants, they are the medical doctors, they are the lawyers, they are the engineers.
Bankers.
So they want you to go in that direction. That's what they
Mm.
want us to do, and that's why they were nudging us to just pick up those things. So it's not bad; it's just their level of exposure.
Yes.
Let's now come to parents who were age mates with my. Luckily, my mom was 65. My mom is 65 today. Yeah, let's not say parents who are at their age range, but they had exposure.
Mm.
Yeah, they had exposure. You see what their children are doing now is
Yes, the
beyond what we are
dynamics.
doing in a way. So for me, I think I will also say that really contributes. Okay, again, I'm going to use my for instance. When and I said this to her too. I said when we were young, as we're finishing school, we finished school pretty early. Just like we have children finishing school 2021, 22 these days. We also
Yep.
finished early, isn't it?
Yep.
And but one thing, like for me in particular, if I've really seen somebody ahead of me, let's say in my well, I'm gonna say my father's side now because my mom's side they were doing pretty well, but we're not very close to them as such. So, but for my father's side, who we were really close to, you don't really have the role models there.
Mm.
Yeah. So let's say at that time, as I was finishing, as I was graduating, somebody said, "Guy, you are done now. Yeah, I see you like 9 to 5. I love 9 to 5. I see you like 9 to 5. I see you want to, you are a corporate guy, whatever, whatever. Can you go to, let's say, banking business school? And
Or can you
let's say,
can you can we discover your purpose and you go to a school that helps you to navigate that early
do you
enough?
get? And at that young age, I am there. I've started pivoting. Do you know
Mm.
where I'm going to be by now?
Yes, absolutely.
Do
Absolutely.
you
However,
get?
we know that it's not late. There's not there's it's a world of limitless possibility.
Some things come with age. Let's
I
not shy
agree.
away
I
from
saw
that.
something today. I saw
Yeah.
something today that said there are certain age you get to, and you know that yeah, there's so
This
many
side
things
of
you've
this
missed.
side
You've
of me
missed.
is gone.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm still very because of the way I think and the way I have seen. I mean, I've done some research, and there's this person, this person that became a multi-billionaire in the
Mm,
US. I'm trying to remember his name now, and he started at 50 something, right? So, and he's living a life of purpose because like we said way earlier, money follows value, right?
that's right.
And value comes from living a purposeful life.
Yeah.
So that's me saying that I don't think that anything is really, you know, late,
Yeah.
right? It's
Yeah.
just people get to the point where they're in a comfort zone. You know what? I've lived this life all I know. There's no need to start anything new. I'm too old for that.
That's right.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
because I know that we are still gonna have more conversation on this. I have loads of question I want to find from
Bring it
you,
on.
but I'm gonna just ask something. To someone who is listening right now, all
Okay.
right, who is stuck, who is probably feeling like I'm too old to start again. I'm too old to discover who I am. I'm too old to do all of that. The world is weird. This XYZ is happening, whatever country, maybe Nigeria or Africa or wherever. And they said there's no enabling environment. What do you advise them to do?
The good news is purpose keeps evolving.
Okay.
Yeah. You see, like I said, years back, there is a way we see that purpose coming to play. Now we understand it better, right? So it keeps evolving. It can still be one thing, but it's metamorphosized into. So the ripple effect can keep going. Now, yeah. So that's the first good news for that individual. Yeah, it doesn't matter how old you are, your race, where you find yourself at the moment, your purpose can still, come to fruition. Right now, I think my first nugget will be Have you been able to discover it? So how do you
Mm.
discover it? What is it that you do? What is that thing that you do, very happy doing it? They don't need to pay you. That opportunity to just come do it is something that, it brings the ignition in you. You are just radiantly glowing when you hear about it.
Mm.
Yeah, that's one thing. That's one thing. If you look deep down within, that's where your purpose lies. Yeah, it might really not be on the surface. Don't get me twisted.
Yes,
But
yes, yes.
just
That's
look a little deep within. You see your purpose in there.
yeah, like you mentioned, interest as well, and then
Yeah.
childhood.
Do you know something? Which I keep saying it, and I keep saying it also to people of like minds because I want them to hold me accountable for it.
Mm.
Right. While we were young, I remember 2005 specifically. I was speaking to a friend, and that person said, "Why do you always, when we converse, I just want to turn the conversation to English, take it a bit formal and all." And I said, because I see myself speaking on the TV, speaking to people,
Global
public
platforms.
speaking, so to speak. In a few years to come, I don't understand what I was saying. I
Mm.
was still in secondary school. I was about finishing. Yeah, I didn't really have the scope to it. But is it playing out? Yes. Now, I started saying to people, because of lots of things I love doing around this public speaking, as it were, in the near future, I want to become a therapist.
Mm.
I want to sit down, engage people in one-on-one conversation, help them through issues of life, help them divine. It can be in business, it can be with respect to life, love life, whatever it is, you know, because you see, it's still part of what I'm currently doing, but it's evolving. So I said to that individual that it can evolve. So just find it, fan it, flame it. I'm not saying it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy because one thing is, when you get to a certain age, you just really want to make money.
Yes. I understand
And
that.
yeah, and then that's push people out of living a purposeful life.
Yeah.
They just want to make money. They
Yeah,
just want
because
to,
responsibilities, the
you
fear
know,
of,
yeah.
mm,
So yeah, so
yeah.
such an individual just needs to also look for an enabling environment. Look for people of like minds. You know, speak to people about it. Have a conversation around it. Let them help you fine tune it. Let them help you refine it. Yeah. You just need it. Look at the environment where we met. Look at things that environment did for us. Look at the people around, how it has structured us. Respectfully speaking, there are still some people too that even at that time we're in that same environment together, but we're not getting the same value. We have the same leverage, we have the same
Mm,
access, we
mm.
have the same resources. But if you see them today, you still have some questions. Now, hold on, what happened? What's wrong? Do you get?
You brilliantly just expressed something very intriguing. You said enabling environment. And you said something that the enabling environment is not like a country, but a system within that country. Like the example you gave where we first
Mm,
met. And the
mm,
fact that we had the same access, but
yeah.
very few people have done something after that. Because I remember the exercise on discovering of purpose back in the day, and it was like, yeah, yeah, let's just say. But now we have few people already like you already doing things with that. I, I, I I want to stop asking you a question, but I have to ask this one.
Go ahead.
What role does God play in purpose discovery?
Thank you. You know, because of the environment we find ourselves at the moment. So when I talk to people, I don't come from that perspective first until I get
Absolutely.
to, yeah, until I get to a point where I now make them see that everything around them is hinged on the big man up there. Yes, yes. Okay, so you see, he is the beginning and the end of it.
Mm,
He created us. So when he was creating us, he knows why he wants
mm,
Meiji to be in that family.
Hmm.
You know why he wants me to grow up where I grew up. Yeah. He knows why he wants me to go through all that I went through in life. Because there are some things now that shaped my own experience as well. That I can easily tell people that you don't have an excuse. If I can do it, you can do
Hmm.
it.
Hmm.
Right? Yes. 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 I remember I remember a time we were talking and we were talking about not really trauma, but like growing up, how that helped, how that shaped, you know, and sometimes we still look at ourselves and be like, oh wow, we thank God where we are
Hmm.
today. Because now we in a way, you see people who are from affluence and influence, and they are doing similar thing you are doing, like you guys are here.
Hmm.
And then you have some questions you get.
Yes.
Okay, something happened. The church we were here, we attend here. Um, so our pastor went to Nigeria and he was invited to preach at Bowen University. And so I think while he was back at home, I spoke with him and I said, uh, that city or that town where he is, that's where myself and my wife grew up.
Hmm.
The only thing he said is, wow, thank God for you guys.
Hmm.
Because, you know, growing up in such a setting can really, really, really limit the way you see life.
Hmm.
Yeah. So now, so that now brings me to God. So when you now give yourself to God, trusting in God, asking questions, you know, definitive questions. God, so why am I here? So God, what next can I do? Okay, so
Hmm.
God, what, that gives that nudge you in the right direction. And that can quickly help you to get to I wouldn't say stardom, but to get to, to be the very best he wants you to be in life. Because that's another thing again. Let's not get it twisted. Not everybody who currently lives a purposeful life is going to make it.
Hmm.
Yeah, we're in a
Hmm.
in a generation where everybody acclimatize everything to how much money you have in your bank account,
Hmm.
how much followership you have on social media, Instagram, and what have you, how much of you do people know that if they type your name, it comes
Hmm.
with quite a lot of information. No, not everybody. Yes, it's not. There are some people that, silently their whole purpose is building other people. So they
Yeah.
are not seen.
Ah, Dimeji, you are busting my brain. You are saying really amazing things. Everybody don't have to be at the spotlight or in the
No, no,
spotlight. But that's
no.
the thing. We don't know because the social media life has made people think that is how we should be.
And
So
that
we're
is part of
now
the problem I said I foresee in the near future.
we have a lot to talk about. But at this point, I'll just let you say if there's any last thing you want to say before we wrap it up.
Sincerely, the last what I'm going to say is just keep living that life. Don't follow the process. Yeah, there is a process involved. 2 years ago, I was dressing up. It was around this time, is it? I think so. Yeah, around this time, around February, March, and God nudged me to look at so our cosmetology whatever is just close to the window. So I was screaming myself. God nudged me to look at the window, and I looked through the window. So around us we have this flower that does like a fencing kind of thing, and the leaves on them are dried. And then like instructively, I was instructed to keep watching it for a period. So I might not notice it every day, but I keep watching, whenever I remember, I will just look through the window and I discovered that same brown leaf that were on them when it was around March, April, they started turning green.
Mm,
And at a point, it becomes more full.
mm,
Yeah. And everywhere was really beautiful.
mm,
And do you know what the Spirit of God told me that time? Life is a process.
mm. Seasons.
It comes in seasons with opportunity. Time, so that's what the scripture says. Time and chances happens to them all. See, just be there. Keep learning your lessons wherever you are now. Keep building. It might not even be a block. You might not have a full block to lay. It might just be a small pinch of sand that you have to drop. Bring it. Just start gathering it, start putting it together. And one day you're going to have all the raw materials you need to build whatever you want to build.
Hmm.
So I'm going to say to you, it won't be all easy. Yeah. But just keep doing what you need to do. Keep going in the circle. And while you go in the circle, just catch fun with life. Don't take life too serious. Yeah.
Thank you so
Um,
much. Thank you
yeah.
so much,
Yeah.
the thank you for so much wisdom and insight. And I'm pretty sure that people's life will be transformed just by listening to this. And I'll be sure to definitely bring you back here because there are certain things you said, like the danger of, where the world is going right now, like hearing
I'm
from
afraid.
God, like things
I'm
related to
afraid.
career. These are things that I think my listeners will be intrigued to hear about because it still circles back to what we're trying to do, to probe further, to ask beyond the surface level question to deeper question people dare not ask, right? So, in all,
Yeah.
thank you very much. And thank you everyone for listening. I remain your host, the Chinwe Ebere. Please do not forget to like, to share, and to subscribe. Turn on the notification to keep hearing from us and seeing when we post a new episode. Until next time, stay blessed and probe further.
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me.